Okay, let me take a picture. Are you on mute?
Am I?
Oh no. Okay. Sorry.
Just talking quietly, I guess.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. This is the best podcast on the YouTubes, on the Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, on the airways, period. And that is Let's Talk Sis. Welcome back for another week. We are so excited to have you. Sierra, how are you doing today?
I am good. I am good today, for the most part. As I was just telling you, my aunt is on her way in, so she's got me feeling a little, roller coasters. But I'm doing okay for the most part. How are you?
I'm good. Don't we just love being a woman? It's just so wonderful. All the things that come along with it. So
All of those things.
no better time than now to kick off our first segment, which is ranting or raving. Are you, Sierra, gonna rant? Or are you gonna rave this week?
I think I'm just gonna stay ahead with the ranting about my Aunt Flo. And just I learned, so I think it was Twitter or TikTok, one of the two, that I guess our cramps are 1 centimeter dilated for birth. Excuse me, huh? Oh,
What?
so that's just a little glimpse of what childbirth is like, and I'm like,
is that for real?
yes, that our cramps are us dilating to 1 centimeter, and we have 10 that we need to get a baby out. So just all of the things that our body has to go through, like we PMS a week before, then you have the actual week of the period, and all that comes within the PMS afterwards. So you get maybe like 3 or 4 days out of the month where you're actually yourself.
Well, you just feel like you.
Yep, I'm great. And we still have to go to work and do all the things.
You're fully functioning,
Yeah.
sane human being.
Just about that, because I'll have it for years. It'll be my friend for a long time. So
well, in that same vein, I'm gonna rave because that means I'm not pregnant. Yeah.
another month in clear.
Yeah. We made it. Not that I don't love beautiful babies, and shout out to all the mommies on the line. But for right now, we live a totally different life. Okay? And I'm okay with that.
Period.
So I'm gonna rave. I'm gonna rave about that. That if I want to get up and go somewhere, I can do that. If I want to have a drink on a Sunday night, I can. If I want to have two, I can do that. And you know what? Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
I ain't got no kids, boo. I'm TT kind of over here, okay? All day and every day. I like kids that I can give back, okay? On that note, we are going to get into our next segment, and this is our timeline topic. Sierra, you want to tell them a little bit about what's going on, and then I'll get us going.
So, our timeline topic. Some of you may or may not know Miss Amanda Seales. She's played in some movies. She co-hosted The Real, some other things. She's an advocate for the African American community, all of the things. And as of recently, we had the NAACP Awards, and we stepped. I just want to say that.
Okay,
we showed up, period. So Amanda opens up about how she's feeling about obviously or apparently not being invited to this award. Either she wasn't invited or she wasn't, nominated for anything. I think it was both. And she just feels like she is not celebrated by the people that she, works hard for. So I know there's a small little clip. I don't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's listen to what she has to say and then we'll get into it.
I just want to say something. If it wasn't for y'all, I would really If it wasn't for y'all, I would really think that I ain't doing shit. Because the industry I'm in does not recognize me. And to be clear, I'm speaking about the black spaces in the industry I'm in, because y'all know I don't give two damns about any of these other spaces. But the black spaces is what I'm referring to, which is largely in part why I've realized like I need to shift out of this industry. You know, like I don't get invited to Essence Women in Hollywood. I've never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. I've been nominated for an Image Award. Never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. Never been honored at Black Girls Rock. Like I've hosted these events. You know what I'm saying? I literally hosted the BET Awards in 2020 in my house, and I was not invited to the BET Awards since. So I just want to thank y'all for always reminding me that I really am valuable, because the game and the industry that I've been in has never let me know.
Wow, wow, wow.
So yeah, she is feeling what Beyonce say, overworked and underpaid.
Hmm. Listen, and she's not wrong. You know what I mean? And there's like two minds about this, right? There's the real, and the people who feel like this, you can tell that they're one, either not a creative, or they've never really worked hard at a passion project.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this school of thought that, well, why do you need the recognition? And you should just be doing it for the works, and the works are good enough, and the works and the works, the works. It's about what you do and not what people say. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
who cares if they see you? They ain't no, you don't get no awards for that, ain't no trophies, as the great poet Drake said. So it's just kind of like, that's one school of thought. But as a fellow creative, as someone who is in the commentary space, as someone who is creating space for Black women, and you hope, right? Like, I would be wrong to say I wouldn't like for my work to be recognized. I wouldn't like for my community to big up the things that I'm doing, and at least invite me to celebrate the same community that I'm supporting. That would be
Absolutely.
so crazy to be like, well, why would you want that?
And my thing is, yes, you are doing it for, the creative part, or you're doing it just, you don't get accolades for that, but you do. And that's how you get to do more, because that's how the industry works. Once you have those awards in your, behind your name or in your resume, as you call it, you're able to do more, and you have more opportunities to reach more people and so forth, so on. But if I'm just staying at this same space, of course, it's like any other career. And people don't think that. They think just because it's entertainment that you're not supposed to take steps up. If you're at your job and you've been at your job for years, and you make the same amount of money, you don't get no promotions, you don't get no awards, you don't get no good job, no, we see you, I told my boss this at one point. I said, I don't feel like you always tell me the negative. There's never well, I do see that you're doing this, and that makes me feel unappreciated, and I don't want to be anywhere that I'm unappreciated. So just like in the industry, I think people forget that it is a job, just like we have a job.
Correct. And the thing is, it's not like she said, I should have won these awards. I should have been such and such personality of the year, or such and such best supporting this, and that. I should have been recognized.
I just want to be there.
Invited. I want to celebrate y'all too.
Literally.
I want to pull up, and I want to be Black, and I want to be in Black spaces with Black people who are fighting for Black things, and have Black conversations with Black folks. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And for people to like make you feel a kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something you're fighting for, is just, it's unfortunate, and it's sad, because like you said, when we start to think of it from a strategy and a branding perspective also, that is how I get in front of more people. That is how you learn more about my mission. That is how I can network, right? And now my resources are combining with your resources to make an even greater resource for our
Absolutely.
community. Now, on the flip side, there is the idea that you gotta you get more flies with honey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so tough because um what she fights for and the things she stands up for aren't soft spoken, kind hearted topics. You know, these are nitty gritty work. Like, I can't smile in your face when I'm talking about equal rights, or when I'm talking about the fact that you just gunned down my brother in the streets for no reason. I can't be agreeable when I'm telling you you shouldn't be bombing people overseas, you know, for what's perceived to be absolutely no real reason. Yeah, like,
Right.
I can't be your girl when I'm talking about that kind of stuff, right? And it's hard for people to give grace, especially on the internet,
Oh yeah.
when that's all that they see, you know?
Yep. I definitely agree with that. I do think that there are some times where you do kind of have to and not necessarily pick your battles, because I don't want you to obviously compromise your morals. But there are some times where I feel like, and Monique has gotten into this as well, where if you start complaining and pointing out everything, now people are like, well, my goodness. Well, we
Right,
just don't even want, because we
right,
don't
right, right,
even know what you're gonna point out. Not to say that she's done those things, because I didn't know that she had hosted and things and then not been invited. Because at that point, why are y'all not inviting me? I'm clearly good enough to be in the space. I'm good enough, to
right.
host. But so yeah, definitely think that it's both, both. You definitely got to watch how you interact with people, but at the same time, don't compromise yourself just to be in those spaces, which she doesn't.
And I think, there's a good thing, there's a lesson to learn in this, in that, we spoke about this on previous podcasts, and the advice I would give to my younger self in that: never compromising yourself, right? So if you are Amanda or someone of the like, and your passions require you to kind of show up in a perceived to be abrasive way, or not the easiest pill to swallow, you have to, you have to own that about yourself. And like she said in her clip, go where you're celebrated, go where you are appreciated, and realize, and not that you deny, again, that those are things that you want, right? Or though maybe not want, or but those are things that would be nice to have. But understand and realize that in what I do and what I'm passionate about, unfortunately, that just might not be a space that I'll be in. And
Right.
all things are working for your good. So if you believe that, then you really ain't missing nothing over there, right? Because what's here is going to be tenfold. And that is
Absolutely.
where you have to kind of be the bigger person, right? Swallow the tough pill, swallow the reality, because it's not fun to be excluded from anything that you would desire to be a part of for whatever your reasoning. But
Mm-hmm.
accepting the reality that, okay, I might not get that. That's not for me right now. That may not be for me ever. But I have to be grateful for this, because then if I'm so busy chasing this, I'm gonna lose that, and then I'm gonna be done. I ain't got nothing, you know. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
tough pill to swallow, but that's kind of, like what I took from it a little bit.
For sure, for sure. Definitely, like you said, easier said than done, but it's for sure, something that you have to do in life in general, not even just career aspects. That could be, relationships, that can be, really anything where, you may feel like I want this, but, I'm not getting the recognition or the love or the whatever it is that you desire. You have to be, secure to know that it will come when it's supposed to, and what's for you will be for you. So,
Yeah, much easier said than done. Like, no, no shade or anything to anybody struggling with that, but it's real life and it's facts. We don't always get what we want. So, Good luck, Miss Amanda Seals. You know, I'm a fan of Amanda. I do think, you know, she has a lot of opinions. She has a lot of opinions, a lot of very strong, unwavering opinions. But the thing I love about her, and any female really, is she's authentic and she's smart. She knows what she's talking about, and she's true to herself, period, point blank. Like, and she's gonna show up loud, proud, and founded. Right, like she ain't just loud and wrong. I be in that loud and wrong crew.
That part. She know her facts and she gonna stand on them.
Period. And that's why people can't stand her because well, what am I gonna say?
Okay, how do I combat that?
I don't know what happened in 1972 with with the people and the and the thing.
Okay,
What you
that's all I
do?
know.
What you do, and she will cite a fact like that and bet you it's right. So praises to you, Queen, for that. You know, I just hope that you feel the love and the support for those people who actually do love you and do and who are inspired by you and continue to just be authentic, continue to pave the way for us loud and proud Black girls coming up behind you. So shout out to you, sis.
Period.
Yes. So with that being said, and speaking of, you know, loud and proud Black women, we're gonna get into our Let's Talk topic of the week. Okay. And I'm excited for this because it gets controversial, it gets juicy. There's so many like schools of thought on that. And this week we're gonna talk about dating. Okay. So there's so many different ways we can go. So we'll just try and cover, you know, just a couple of topics in the time that we have. Okay, but the first question I want to know is in this digital age and in 2024 here today, okay, how long is the date, like the talking stage? How long should that be before you make it official? And are we still talking? Is that still a stage? Like, tell me what's going on in the streets. What's happening?
Being that I have been single for almost 7 years, this is going to be an interesting topic because I have lots of ideas, but then I also am like, well, I am kind of inexperienced in that area. So what I think I might want may not happen the way that I want it to.
Of course. Okay.
However, ideally, a nigga not about to be talking me to death. Okay. So let me explain that. Okay. So I think personally, you have a couple months. And when I say a couple months, I genuinely mean 2 to 3 to know. And that's really pushing it. Because for me, because I am dating intentionally. I am dating with the purpose of marriage. I'm not dating to where it goes, where it goes. You know, let's just see. You know, we're just no. I am dating intentionally. So I just feel like I also want to date somebody who's dating intentionally. So if we've gone on a couple dates, we've been talking for 2 months. Do you see this going anywhere or no? So it's like, I just feel like whether or not, okay, I at least want to try a relationship with this person. Not saying that the relationship is going to, it may ultimately end in 6 months. Who knows? But we're not going to be talking for 6 months. And then you're like, okay, now you good.
Okay, so for those who don't know, tell me what takes me from just talking to in a relationship.
Oh, he has to ask. There's no assumption. And that's where we go wrong. That's where a lot of us go wrong, myself included, in the past, where I have took the amount of time we've been talking, messing around, whatever we're doing, whatever that includes for you. 6 months. Oh, that's my man.
Oh, we go together.
We go together real bad. And he's like, anytime we argue, well, we're not together though. Remember, we're not together.
Now, do you make it known up front? Like, because I feel like, do you make it known that you have to ask me to be your girlfriend?
Yes.
Do you say that like month one or two or whatever? Like
And so in the
that is
past,
what I expect.
yes. So in the past, I have not.
Yeah.
But going forward, I have been very vocal about intentions. I am not here to, you know, date for 6 months and then you no, and you have to ask because I can't assume that we're together and we're not. We need to be on the same page.
Okay, so how does that work? If you are you talking, do you talk to multiple people, or is that a thing? Because there's this idea too that like you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when I was so you've been single 7 years, right? Prior to my current relationship, I've never had a boyfriend, so I was single 24 years. No, that's a
Mm-hmm.
long time, but you don't really date
Okay.
all the time. But still,
Yeah.
and you talk to people, right? But in that time, it was like you need to have a team. You got to have one that you go out with, one that you do this with, and one that you don't do this with, and
Mm-hmm.
then one that's just in case you want to go there. So, what is that philosophy, and does that work in conjunction with dating intentionally?
For me, no. I do think that there is what I'm learning, like you said, to not put all of my eggs in one basket because I've done that. I am the type when I start talking to somebody, we're like this until something happens. Then something, but as long as we talking and we like talking, I'm not even thinking about nobody else. But then I have realized that I can, converse with other people. I can go on multiple dates, but when it becomes, like, okay, we're starting to talk about us. Do we see us as as a future? How are we? Like, we're starting to have those more defining conversations. I think that's when things need to become more exclusive. But me, I don't know. I don't see myself having necessarily one for this, one for that, one for this. I just see I'm just conversating with multiple people. I go on a couple dates, and then may the best man win. But it's not necessarily like well, I'm gonna. He has the money. I'm gonna go on dates with him. He has this romantic, so I'm gonna let him buy me flowers. He has the restaurant, so he's gonna bring me food. Like, I don't want. That's not the type of multiple dating I'm doing. It's more so of just hey, I'm going on a couple dates. I really like this one. It's leaning more towards it looked like it's gonna be more so him. But yeah, you do have to say, you have to ask me. Don't just assume. I'm not gonna assume that I'm your girlfriend, and you don't assume that I'm your girlfriend if you do not ask me, will you be my girlfriend? That's
Yeah,
like me assuming that we're married and you never like, huh?
I 1000% agree. And it's funny. I have a funny story. So Daniel actually he asked me twice
I was
because
just gonna ask if he asked you.
the first time he asked me, I didn't know. I really wasn't sure because to me, for one, being that it would be my first boyfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't like him or wasn't sure that I wanted to like continue to like talk to him and deal with him. I didn't know if I was ready for that
Roll.
role and responsibility of the things that came with the things. And
Mm-hmm.
that's my boyfriend. Like, for a while, that was a really weird sentence for me to say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it would make me blush, or like,
Yeah. I know that's gonna be me.
so which is cute, it's great, but I'm glad, obviously, that he stuck in there and that he
Okay.
brought back around and asked me again. And part of what I love about him,
Try this again.
he's traditional in a lot of ways and respects a lot of my craziness and things that my mental processing. But yeah, it was one of those things too. Well, not only do you have to ask me, but you're gonna have to ask me again.
Yeah.
Cause
I
I
say it
don't know, bro,
again.
and I don't
Okay.
want to do you wrong, and then we end this thing because, like you're saying, I am intentional, right? Like, I want to take
Mhm.
care of your heart. Also, like, I want to make sure I can show up for you, and I can do that, and I'm not only can, but I'm more so importantly willing. Because I
Absolutely.
I might not, but I'm willing to try, and I'm willing to
Mhm.
like, do the things and ask the questions. So yeah, so any young ladies out there listening, y'all not together until y'all have a full blown conversation about it.
Absolutely. Because I don't care what y'all doing. Y'all could be doing the do. You could have met the mom. Y'all could be going on dates. Y'all could be, going to family functions. Y'all telling each other y'all love each other. Y'all with each other 24/7. I promise you, the first time you go through that man's phone and you question him about something, he like, we not even together. You're not even my girlfriend. I swear, the first opportunity get to flip that, he gonna flip that.
What?
Okay. He gonna be like,
and this is a little bit of a left turn, but this is an interesting question that I want to ask. It made me think about something, and because and the fact that we have to warn and advise our fellow sisters to have this conversation means like, okay, who was warning and advising y'all before, right? So I want to know, do you feel like were you raised to be a wife? Was that something that was instilled and that you were taught about? Because your parents are still married, and so I'm curious, like, was your mom an advocate for preparing yourself to be a wife, considering yourself as a wife when you're dating? Like, what were those conversations, if any?
No, actually, if you're listening, but I will say that I just feel like my mom was not necessarily the traditional mom. She didn't cook.
Wife?
Or yes, or traditional wife and mom, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because she didn't she didn't cook. Like my dad cooked. Mm-hmm. And she worked a lot. And so my dad did more of the the laundry and things like that. So she's never been really traditional in that aspect to teach us to be like, I could never see her saying, when you become a wife, you're going to have to know how to do these things. My mom would be like, girl, please.
Well, not even that, even just advocating for marriage, and when you're dating, again, date with the intention to one day marry.
Okay. So yes, in that aspect, yes. When we talk about dating, we talk about like, because my parents are still married and I look up to the way that they operate in their marriage and the way that my dad genuinely takes care of my mom and genuinely like looks out for her and loves her, and she genuinely takes care of him and looks out and loves him. And so when we talk about relationships, we always talk about that and the fact that, what are my principles, what do I look for? It's not just and they get on me because I'm very like, I want a black man with this. My mom's like, he may not have everything that you are you okay? Like, she challenges me.
Indian.
Yes, she sends me white men. Sometimes I go, he's cute. And I literally told her, please stop doing that because there's power in the tongue. I literally get so mad when she does that. Like, but she's like, you got to be open to it not looking like you want it to
mad
look.
because she said you the
I
white
literally
boy.
like, I get so like it's not even like a fake mad. Like, I genuinely do not like that. Stop. like But so we definitely do have those conversations about like dating for marriage and like, how that shows up and, not being so, because me, I have this, like I said, image in my mind, and they're like, they're just very real with me about marriage. It may not look like that. It may, that 80-20 rule is real, and I'm not trying to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do 90-10.
Everybody's funny, girl. Like,
Okay, right?
Your mama knows some things, okay? She's a smart woman. She's a smart woman, okay?
Yeah.
No, so in my experience, it's interesting. And I don't want to tell your business too much, JT. So I'm gonna do my best, but this is also my story. Okay,
I'm about to say, tell your truth.
I did not receive those conversations around monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were married, then divorced, and post divorce, and while they were married, I don't really recall. We didn't really have too many conversations around like dating. For me, I was younger. Boys and all that stuff really didn't come to my teen years when they were not together, and
How old were you when they got divorced?
I think it was like 12 or 13. I think I could have been maybe a little younger. Maybe I was 11. I don't know. It was
Why
somewhere.
am I thinking like 17, 18?
Oh no.
Oh my, 12 or
I was in
13?
college by then. No, yeah, it was definitely like I would say closer to like somewhere from 10 to 12 is when it happened.
I am shooketh.
Yeah, my whole high school they were not together. Mhm.
I guess because Dahlia. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so I didn't talk to my dad about it, dating. I really actually only ever had a conversation with my dad around dating and relationships when I got into a relationship with my boyfriend, and I kind of had to, right? I didn't really have like a prom date. I didn't date in high school, so boys just were not a thing. And my mom and friends very much encouraged a non-monogamous dating life, to explore, to have something here, there, and everywhere, not put my eggs in one basket. And it was something that I had to realize. I always didn't want it, right?
Mhm.
But I really had to accept I don't want to do that. Like,
That's not
so
for me.
that is not for me. Like I went through high school, well, really into high school, college, trying to fit that prescription, trying to have the multiples, do the thing, date, and not be too committed. And while I understand, I think the sentiment again in probably not putting all your eggs in one basket,
Right.
it is a fear based approach, right? It is you don't want to like him too much because he might hurt you, and that's possible, right? But that's possible regardless. I got
That's
my heart broke with no commitment. you know
absolutely. Absolutely.
I
That's
got
just
I
a
got
risk
my
that
heart
you
broke by
have
the
to
whole
take.
damn team, So it's like now instead of one man disappoint me, it's five of y'all.
Okay. Literally. Disappointment after disappointment.
All of you are sick. So it took me some time and intentionality to unlearn that and realize it's okay for me not to believe that, for me not to agree with that, and for me to have my own opinion on how I should date and show up in my dating life, right? And in that, became a little of it was a process, right? Because at first there was some how am I trying to say this? You begin to like excuse away certain things for the fact of the commitment, or for the fact of like trying to see if this is the person, and that whole 80-20 thing. Okay, is this the 20? Is this the
Mm-hmm.
80? Is it actually 70-30? Is it really just 30-70, right? Like the other way around.
Uh-huh.
You kind of go through that, but I also respected myself more because, I'm okay in this pocket of feeling I want to get married. And I'm okay with that. For a long time, my mom was adamant she was never getting married again, and how her marriage coming up looks is, I'm sure, going to be different than her marriage previously, but I had to be okay with, no, I want to be married. I
Right.
want to have a family, and I want a long, prosperous, healthy, strong marriage. In fact, under God, under the US law as well. Okay. I want the paper too, because God forbid anything happens, right? Legacy purposes and 20 75, you'll be able to see that the Moors did this. You know what I'm saying?
It will
So,
not be so and so and his special friend.
okay, you understand?
Nobody's special friend.
No, the wife. She's the wife. Okay.
Like the, you see this?
so yeah. So all that to say, like it just kind of, took some time for me to develop my own view around that because kind of what was advised was never what was aligned with like what I truly felt. And hey, maybe if I got married and divorced, I might feel the same way also. But I
Right.
haven't been, so I don't.
It's different, obviously your experiences, shape what you're looking for, what you're looking for and what you're willing to accept. Because, my 70-30 or my, excuse me,
I rebuke it in the name of Jesus.
hold on, excuse me. My 80-20 may look completely different from somebody else's 80-20 because of the things that, for me, it was different in my younger years. I was in a committed relationship for 4 years. So there's already things that I've dealt with that, buddy, you don't even have a chance to even show.
Okay.
So I think it's just, definitely boundaries and
Mm-hmm.
and what works best for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With anybody listening that's kind of vacillating or struggling or just feeling like you aren't showing up in your dating space authentically, right? Or you're constantly unhappy with the results of your dating, like maybe figure out what are your philosophies that you're going about things. What are the principles? What are the concepts that you're holding in your heart, right? Because if you're holding all men cheat, if you holding ain't no good man out there, if you're holding I'm not deserving,
Mm-hmm. That's what
that's
you
what
can
you will
get.
get. That is
Absolutely.
exactly what the universe will drop off at your door is a cheating, non-appreciative Negro, white man at that. A non-working, lazy white man, okay, with all the privilege and opportunity in the world.
God, I
Let's
rebuke
see what
that.
you get, sis.
Mm-mm.
If that is what you are holding true in your heart, so check that heart space, like check
Absolutely.
those
And
philosophies.
like we said, especially we can definitely talk. This needs to be a topic. Especially check that heart space for Black men because I feel like a lot of Black women, and I feel like Black men do this to Black women as well. We need to stop going against each other. Stop tearing our Black men. Well, Black men don't like Black women. So Black men do like Black women. You are just not looking at the right ones. If they want to date Becky, let them. The ones that dating Becky's, we let them go on date.
Okay.
But it's just like we need to stop tearing our Black men down, and that can be a whole nother.
No, for real, and just in addition, like just because he's with her doesn't mean he can't like you too, or that there isn't a
Absolutely.
Black man out there that likes you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just for me. It goes back to just the biblical and the faith principle of God gives you the desires of your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're believing that He will do that, have confidence in the fact. First of all, you only need but one of them Black men, okay? And all I'm worried about, Lord, is the one you have called for me. Let him be faithful. Okay? Let him be loyal. Let him be prosperous,
That
kind,
part.
smart, loving, all the things.
Let him actually
Woo!
want
My
to be
nigga
a husband.
or not. But you
Say,
also ain't my man. So
hey,
power to you.
yep.
So yeah, that's an excellent point. But dating is
It's dating is it's hard out here for us in this dating world. It's ghetto. The water has pee in it. Uh it's it's up to here. I'm barely treading water.
okay. Before we go though, what is something different that you can do to date that maybe you haven't done before? If you're not like not the dating apps, the traditional dating apps, or no, let me ask you this. Okay, what do you think is the best way to meet somebody?
I I think the best way to meet somebody is organically, where you run into them and you like, it's something about, it's something about him.
Okay.
Just like you feel that like y'all meet, it's like right off the bat that that energy is there. So I think the best way to meet somebody is like in person, organically, but being that especially the space I live in, it's just not a lot of places to go out and meet people. So I'm just like today's world in general, it's just a lot of online, dating, which I do partake in, but I don't necessarily like because it's just so impersonal. And then I just feel like it's an interview from the start. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
I agree. I'm gonna piggyback off of the in person and add an even extra better layer is an introduction from a friend, a cousin, an auntie, or somebody that knows them. Can vouch for him. Oh yeah, he got a good job. He messed with this girl back in 2002, but he ain't been with her since. And I think he's funny, he's cute.
You
Like
know
that.
anybody? Who you know?
I don't know no single man, friend. I be looking though. I be looking for y'all because I be like, I got to hook my friends up now. Cause we got to start doing couples things.
I want to go on when I tell I've never been on a vacation at my big age. Like I want to go on a vacation.
You have plenty of time. Yeah, so we're gonna find where I'm gonna keep my eyes out, keeping them looking. But anything you need to tell the people before we go?
I actually went on a date last night from somebody from a dating app.
Oh, how did it go?
It went well.
How did you wait to that?
It actually, so speaking of the in-person, so before I went on the date, I was nervous because our conversations just were like kind of very surface level, very like, how was your day? What are you doing? And I just was like, and he's from Ghana.
Okay.
So I was nervous about the accent because
Okay.
I have a condition to where my face
be like this.
Yeah, like I can't control my face. What? What are you saying?
I hate being like, wait, what?
Okay, and there was sometimes where I'm like, okay, say that.
What?
But his English definitely was much better than I expected. But I tell you, I was literally like, Sierra, do not cancel this because this man is
okay.
So, anyways, we actually laughed. We had a good time. We played like some arcade games, and it was like trash talk. It was a good time. So it was fun.
Older than you, younger than you. You don't know.
I can't. Okay. I think he's probably about the same.
Hey,
Probably.
Is he tall?
He is tall, but I am also tall. So he's
what is that? You're not that tall.
I'm not, but okay. So he's 6'1" or 6'2". He says he's
that's tall.
Yeah, and so I'm
you 5'6".
No, I'm 5'8" or 5'9". But I had on these little heel boots, and he literally mentioned me being tall a couple times. So I said, "Is that going to be a problem?"
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he just said that. He said no.
That's not in your profile. She gonna put the
Man, I don't know. It do. I seen it on there, so maybe mine is on there. I don't know. But I'm just like, so
you're gonna go out with him again?
I would go out with him again. It was not bad. We had fun. We, laughed, talked.
Did he ask you out again already?
Well, we talked after, when he walked me to my car. He said, well, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do for our next one or whatever. So he mentioned it there.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to say he mentioned it there. And so I mentioned maybe going like skating or something. And so we like stood in the parking lot. I showed him a video of it. And obviously there was like professional skaters. So he was like, oh no. And I'm like, no. We won't be doing all that. But
okay.
So it was fine. But again, today our conversations just
boring. That sucks. Maybe he's not a good texter. Maybe you should call him. No, I'm kidding. But I watched this podcast and she gave some pretty decent advice when she was talking about like online dating for exactly what you said. The conversations can get a little boring. And she was like, try starting in the middle of the conversation. So like, and it can feel awkward, but like, so what he like, what you doing? You know, or what, how was your day? And instead of being like, oh, my day was fine. How about you? Right? That's probably what you're going to say. You would say, my day was okay. You know, I went and got an acai bowl, but it really wasn't that good, or it was amazing today. You know, I love when they put the little coconut flakes on top. Do you like coconut? And respond in that way to give a little more, you know, something to like talk about, you know, because it can be boring. Not, and that's not to say you're trying hard and constantly pulling teeth, but
you definitely have to
you
keep
gotta give a little to get a little, you know.
Absolutely. But I think my problem is I hate small talk.
Correct.
But I'm just like,
but you gotta get to know the man. Do he like coconut?
Literally. So my thing is like, let's just play 21 questions.
Okay. Now think you're really gonna interview. But see, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I need to know. I can't keep doing the how was your day? What did you do today? And good.
That's why, like, for me, when you ask about the talking stage, or when I ask about that, for me, you got like, it's like 3 days.
No, literally, and that's how I'm trying to be realistic because I haven't been. I don't know how quick they go, but you're not gonna talk me to death. Either you like me or you don't.
Yeah, it didn't take that long. I mean, it literally didn't take that long.
You like me or you don't. And the same with marriage. We're not. I'm sorry.
Especially if we're talking every day, all day. I mean, within the week, nigga, what's that? You want to be my man or not? No, just kidding.
Okay, so what we doing, nigga? So what's up?
But you at least, because again, if we're both in this thing to be together, we know that's the end game. Let's try it. Let's see where it goes. If it don't work out, we over it. But
yeah. Anyway. But then I think like I couldn't imagine this man asking me to be his girlfriend.
Yeah, but you would say no, though. That's the difference. You don't like him like that.
100%. Oh Lord. But hey, we'll see where it goes.
Okay, but you can move from talking to exclusive. Or is that the same thing as being my boyfriend?
Yeah, once we become exclusive, do not ask. That's another thing. Come on now. You can't
be exclusive before you together?
No, we're together.
You don't give them time to cut off the other people?
I guess, what do you mean? Because so are you asking me to be exclusive?
Like, okay, like, let's cut everybody off and it's just me and you, and like, let's see. But you're not really my girlfriend yet.
Yes, I am. I am your girlfriend starting now.
So the second you have to cut somebody off, you expect to be the girlfriend.
100%.
Interesting. Okay.
What we doing the in between period of from talking to exclusive to no.
I mean, yeah, you gotta know, like, before I claim you in public as my girlfriend, I got to see how you act.
That's during the dating. That's during this talking stage.
No, because I wasn't really focused on you. I was talking to you and her. So
take me off the roster, babe. I don't want to be on the roster.
But I really like you. But you're the one, like, out of them that I think.
Okay, so now let's take it.
And I want to focus on you. So I'm not really gonna talk to them. I'm just gonna focus on you and see if I could deal with you full time.
It sounds good. It sounds very nice.
But I don't want to talk to nobody else.
Then you're my man. My man said we not talking to nobody else.
My man said I can't talk to you no more.
Okay. My man said we together. So yeah, once we cut everybody off, you are asking me to be your girlfriend. Okay, and that's what it needs to be.
We just had to put it out there. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for listening. We love y'all. Appreciate you for coming back. Of course, We hope you like, subscribe, share the podcast with your aunties, your uncles, your sisters, cousins, your brothers. And yeah, we'll see you back here next week.
We shall. Have a good week, guys.